We're screaming out loud, but you can't seem to understand the words we're saying. In fact, you can't seem to hear us at all. You've caged us, restrained us, we're howling, yet you're oblivious. You've clipped our wings, now we can't fly, and in the end, you ask us why. So what do you think I'm talking about? Birds? Animals? Caged animals? Technically, yes. I'm going to be talking about the most restrained species on this planet, teenagers. So when I started research on this topic, I started on the first page of Google, then I went on to the second. By the night, I'd reached the 9th page of Google, and yet I couldn't find even one article that was written about teenagers by an actual teenager. There were articles with titles like, what's in the mind of your teen? What is your teenager thinking right now? The irony being, not one of them were from the perspective of an actual teenager. All of them were about what adults think the perspective of their child is. You could conduct research about a monkey's brain for years. You will completely understand what it's thinking, and after you've accumulated all that knowledge, you can take your bunch of research papers and shove it in its face, and for all you know, it's going to throw your papers down, maybe even punch you. You could, of course, ask the monkey, but it's a monkey. Monkeys don't speak. But we are humans. We can speak. So why then do we not ask our kids their thoughts, their perspective, when they are right here begging to be heard? Since I had no reliable articles or information to start this speech off with, I decided to go around and ask children my age one simple question. If you could tell your parents one thing that you've never been able to tell them, what would it be? This conversation started off very lightly. Everyone was speaking softly, but within 5 minutes, everyone had tears in their eyes. One kid was crying and everyone was agreeing, saying, oh my God, my father says that too. Oh, my mother said that to me before. I promised them complete anonymity, and I'm privileged that they shared their thoughts with me. And I'm here to share them with you today. Mama, I feel like you brag about the fact that you know me, but you don't know me at all. When you ask me what's wrong and I tell you, you make me feel ashamed about it. Please lower your expectations, because I can't help but feel obligated to fulfill them. Just because you're older than me doesn't mean you're always right. I find it easier to hide things from you than to speak about them with you. I feel like until I pass the 10th grade, I'm no longer a human, I'm no longer your daughter, I'm just a puppet that has to succeed. I feel like you expect me to live to study, but if that's what living is, I don't think I want to. Please stop comparing me with my sister. She's 6 years elder to me. We are two completely different people. Just because you gave birth to me doesn't mean I am yours. I'm not a piece of property. I am my own person. I don't know how to tell you that you gave me this life, but I don't want it anymore. After hearing statements like this, I realized how important this topic really is. We live in a world where children can't speak to their parents. Just imagine that you can't communicate with the people who brought you into this world. Every cell that constitutes your body was made by them, and they no longer understand it. If right now you're thinking that, oh, my child would never say something like this, I'm in the safe, I'm a wonderful parent, I beg of you, all I ask is one thing. When you go home, sit down with them and speak to them. In fact, do something better. Sit down with them and listen. Listen to us when we tell you something's wrong. Don't just write us off as hormonal teenagers. Listen to us when we tell you that we're stressed. Don't say, you have nothing to be stressed about. That's not how it works. Listen to us when we tell you that we think it's too much to handle, that life is tough. Don't start talking about how in your days we did twice as much work, our portion was thrice as much as yours. That was a different time, that was a different society, that was a different world. Listen to us when we tell you someone hurt us. Even if you don't deem it worthy, Even if you don't think it's a large enough problem, just listen. And most importantly, listen to us when we tell you we need you. Because we do. We won't be able to make it without you. So please just listen.